Hello and welcome. PTF and JK back with our new Derby Top 10. We had one piece of news, just one, but it was a pretty big one this weekend with the return to the races of Timberlake, who made that return a winning one. We'll get to him in a minute. Let's take a look at this one little update in the top 10 with Fierceness, who is going to run next in the Florida Derby, your 2-year-old champion, going down a peg. Timberlake off this 93 Beyer speed figure performance, moving up a peg. JK, first and foremost, do you agree with this change?
No, I do. I mean, I think it's arguable that Timberlake probably could have moved a little bit higher. I think he was where he was last time because we were trying to figure out what he was going to come back and do. And now that he's kind of proved that he is that kind of upper echelon 3-year-old, I think maybe even higher could be possible. But let's just wait, because next weekend, and we'll have some previews for you coming up this week with the Fountain of Youth, we've got 3 horses in our top 10 running in the Fountain of Youth. I think that will kind of unfold this top 10 a little bit more and let us understand what's going on next.
Let's take a quick look at our comment contest winner. You see it up there on the screen. Let's go ahead and do another one. Pop a comment in on the bottom of this video, and we'll feature you in the next one we do later this week. As JK mentioned, we've got these big Derby preps coming up. We'll do a slightly longer video previewing all 3 of these. Let's get back to Timberlake, though, for a second, JK. I mean, 93 on the Beyer speed figure scale. It was a nice win. This is a horse that has back races, so in that old school way, you just want to see him come back and show that he's still a horse, that he's developed a little bit. Personally, I feel like if all the hype around him from day one had been justified, maybe he would have seen something a little bit better on the clock. Maybe he would have dispensed with these rivals a little bit more easily. But am I picking nits there? What do you really think the overall quality of this effort is?
Yeah, I thought he ran well. Look, I don't think he's going to win the Kentucky Derby off that effort, but I do think that he's, likely to be the favorite in the Arkansas Derby off of that effort. Here's what I'll say about the race and how it pertains to Timberlake. He popped away from there clean, which you like to see considering the 20-horse field of the Kentucky Derby. He found his position forward. He was rateable, sat in behind horses, and then he got in between horses. And for a horse who in his past would sometimes get a little bit rank, he was very kind in between horses, where a lot of times, especially with a fresh horse, they can kind of get a little bit rank in that spot. And then he listened to the riders' cues, and when they turned for home, they produced that run. I will say this, he got a little goofy in the stretch, a little kind of green, a little moving around, kind of getting out a little bit. But maybe that was just Christian Torres not really being familiar with him.
I think it was the jock.
Maybe the second time around.
Yeah,
right. I think the second time around.
He looked to have an issue with his reins to me. Now, I'm no horseman, but it looked to me like the jock had an issue with the reins more than anything with the horse. And once he straightened him back out, he finished so well that I could actually spin that as a positive. I don't think the horse was green. I think that was a little, maybe call it jockey-horse miscommunication, if you buy that idea.
And look, I think it took a perfect ride for the second-place horse to kind of challenge Timberlake, right? Brian Hernandez was brilliant up the inside like that. So I like Timberlake moving forward. I'd like to see what he does next.
And we're going to, on this Kentucky Derby trail, we're going to be back later in the week. Again, drop a comment. Make sure you rate, review, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts, In the Money Players Podcast, and join us for free tips and analysis daily over at InTheMoneyPodcast.com.